You need to earn someone's trust. And the easiest way to do that is by just offering value and actual value. Because a lot of people will give away stuff for free, but it's not valuable.
Welcome back to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Shahid Durrani. Today's guest is someone who's not just thinking about the future, he's building it. Alex Peñuñuri is the founder of Drippy.io, a game-changing AI-powered platform that's redefining how businesses do outbound on X, used to be Twitter. At just age 24, Alex has helped over 2,600 businesses start meaningful conversations with ideal clients, completely automating what used to be a painful cold outreach process, all while keeping it human. So I want to welcome Alex to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for that intro, man. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here. Appreciate you.
No, my pleasure. You deserve it, man. You created something great. I was mentioning that I'm a client. I use your platform and I find it amazing. It's a great way, but there's some bad ideas about cold outreaching that we can today talk about. And I know you're passionate about it as well. And your content, what you create, is that you could use automation, but you could still be human. You could still have that energy behind it.
Right.
So most people fear cold outreach like they fear dentists, but you have turned it into something people love. Can you share what mindset shift did you personally have to make about any kind of rejections or failures to build Drippy?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a specific kind of like rejection or failure that led me to Drippy, but to be completely honest, and I don't say this to talk bad about like cold email, but I started looking at other ways to do outreach because I really did not enjoy the lead scraping process in the cold email world. So I was like, okay, what else can I do? And then I started going down the like social platform outreach channels, came across Twitter, and then Twitter was actually how I got my first clients. Like even before Drippy, I was just running an agency. This was like 2.5 years ago almost. And I was like, okay, there's something here, because I wasn't even a Twitter guy or an X guy. It was Twitter back then, but I didn't even have an account. I just made an account, started sending messages, and then landed clients. I was like, oh shoot, okay, there's something here. And then I actually didn't start Drippy. I hopped onto Drippy a year ago. So the actual founder, so I guess I'm a co-founder now, or co-owner. Is actually the owner that got started. His name is Jay, and he's the dev. But right now, he's kind of like behind the scenes. He's like working every day, but just deving it out, I guess I could say. Yeah. I'm pretty much in charge of everything else. So he reached out to me. So he was using Drippy to market Drippy. So he reached out to me just like to acquire new users. I ended up hopping on a call with him. We ended up becoming really good buddies. And then a year ago, so summer of 2024, not like almost a year now, he was like, yo, do you want to jump on and then we can run this together? Because he didn't really have anyone doing like all the marketing stuff. So I was like, yeah, dude, let's run it. So essentially we merged the agency that I had with Drippy. I brought all my team onto Drippy, and then that's where we're at now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And anyone in the audience, if you ever tried cold outreach and hated it, definitely let us know in the comments on YouTube. We'd love to hear from you. You have helped thousands of businesses through Drippy. From your seat, what's the number one hidden mistake people making when they're trying to get clients online that really nobody really talks about?
I think the biggest one, I feel like everyone talks about having the right script and having like the right script, the volume, the right lead list. And yes, those things are very important. But I think even more important than that is the two main things. Number one, having a really good offer, like specifically to cold traffic. That's something I've been like, like my newsletter right now is essentially like once a week I talk about offers and just making good offers specifically for cold traffic. And it doesn't, like what I typically say is that it doesn't have to be your main offer. Like your cold outreach offer does not need to be your main core offering. Typically the campaigns that do the best are campaigns where it's actually not, and it's just an offer that's built for a cold audience, right? Meaning you're not asking someone to marry you before going on a first date. You're not going
You're
straight
giving
into
value.
Exactly. You're giving value. You're making it super easy for someone to say yes. You're not asking for a 12-month contract signed to get going, right? It's a one-time setup fee, or it's some kind of free value that leads them to like where the next natural step would be one of your like paid offers. There's a couple different things you can do, but I think that's the biggest one. People like complaining about not getting results, but then you look at their offer and you're trying to sell like an offer that is clearly for someone that already knows you to cold traffic, and that's just not going to work. It doesn't really matter where you run it. It's not going to work on Twitter. It's not going to work on email. It's not going to work on LinkedIn. It's not going to work on paid ads. It's probably just if you're pitching us through your newsletter and it's working, then it's because people know you. So I think that's number one. And then number two is just having a really good, like on Twitter, it's having a really good and well optimized profile. And I think just in general, if you're running ads, if you're like doing cold email, it's like having your online presence be really dialed in, because people will look you up before they buy. Like probably that they're going to look you up on like wherever. They're going to look up your name. They're going to look up your company. And if they can't find anything about you, again, this is all cold stuff. It's not people that know and trust you yet. So you just need to make it super obvious that you're legit, that you're not going to run away with their money. And so I think those are the main two things that not a lot of people talk about, but I think are super key when it comes to just getting results. With anything that has to do with reaching out to a cold audience, and very specifically to like the cold Twitter outreach world.
Because you're leading with value, and the energy behind it is so important as well, because when you're actually sending that kind of message, you're actually looking at them where they can get a win. They achieve a quick win where they get to trust and know you, right, to the next level.
1000%. I think just that's the thing. You need to earn someone's trust, and the easiest way to do that is by just offering value, and like actual value, because a lot of people will give away stuff for free, but it's not valuable. And it doesn't matter if it's valuable to whoever's giving it. It's like what matters is it value to a person that's receiving it, right? Because if it's not, it could be really valuable to you, but if it's not valuable to them, then it doesn't really matter.
No.
So yeah, I think it's just a matter of finding something that works that you can also do at scale. I think if someone's just starting out, then scale isn't like what they need to worry about. But once you have something that's working at low scale, you can figure out how to automate. A quick example I'll give is one of our most successful campaigns ever for Drippy was a free list of 1,000 leads. Like at first, it was pretty much just like manual stuff. And then we figured out a way, we were like, okay, this is working. And then we figured out a way to automate it. Like our dev team, Jane and our dev team went to work, and they built out this platform where people can just go 1,000 or a list of 1,000 free leads in their ICP. And then they can there's like a bunch of calls to action on that page to get people to sign up to Drippy. And then when they get the list, they also get hit with our emails and all that stuff. And that works really well, because the first thing you do after you have leads is, okay, you want to reach out to them, but you have 1,000 of them. You don't want to reach out to them manually. So what are you going to do? You're going to start a free trial with Drippy. Yeah.
I just thought of something, Alex.
Yeah.
What if I offer a free meditation, a custom meditation?
Yeah, I think people would like anything that's really high value, not just to
Definitely
you, but
high
to your
value.
target audience. It's huge, is huge. And then
that might be worth trying, right?
1,000% worth trying. And I think it's something, because I do weekly community coaching calls with essentially anyone that's a Drippy user can hop on those calls, and they can just ask me whatever questions. I literally don't hop off those calls until everyone's questions are answered.
Awesome.
But there is this one specific guy that was selling websites, and he was essentially letting people know, hey, I built you a new website. But then he like wasn't giving anyone call. There were no calls to action on him showing them the website. So he was like sending a Loom video going through the website, but then there was no calls. Like the client didn't, or the lead didn't know what to do next. It was like, dude, you need to let people know what the next steps are and be super clear about it. If the next step is to book a call, if the next step is to, I don't know, go back and forth on, I don't know, send your phone. Yeah, you need to be very specific. It's just so that people aren't confused. A confused prospect will not buy, in my opinion. So you just need to make it super crystal clear with all your freebies. Because that's another one. Like people are always telling me like, hey, if I do freebies.
So they know after receiving the free value, what do they need to do next?
Exactly. So that you can actually make money from it. Because if you're just giving free value, yes, but
why is that part missing? Like, why is that common? That part is missing. Why do you think it's missing?
Like why the call to action is missing?
Yeah. Why do you think that is common? Is it common?
I see it pretty frequently.
Yeah. So why do you think that happens when they want to do business, right? They're giving free value. Why aren't they incorporating what to do next?
I think it could be a couple things. I don't know exactly what it would be. My guess would be it's a little bit of a self-sabotage type of thing. That could be
internal stuff, right?
Exactly. I think it could be that, but it could also be just that they assume that the prospect will know.
No,
which is
the assumption.
Yeah, they assume that, all right, if I were them, I would probably just ask them, okay, like, how do I pay? Instead of letting them know, okay, this is how you move forward. Like, you book a call and I show you on the call and then I get it set up on the call or whatever. I think people just assume that whoever they're reaching out to knows better, when truth is they've got a ton of stuff going on. So they're probably not going to try and figure it out if they can't figure it out within a second. So that's why I think you need to be super clear. But the other part could also be the reason, the just like self-sabotage type.
Can you share one piece of advice to anybody out there that's in business or looking to launch a platform or a startup or a business, or nowadays an AI app, that they should be looking out for, that you learned in your journey that could help them initially?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. I think that the mindset, like we were talking about, is, I think it's one of the most important things.
Yes.
In my eyes, you really need to have the mentality of, it's not whether or not this is going to work, but rather this is going to work. It's just a matter of time until it does.
Yes.
And then you literally just don't quit. We're not trying to discover like a new something like it. We're not trying to build the next like business that's never been created before. We're just taking a roadmap that we know works because there's a bunch of other people running similar companies. So it's okay. This has worked for a bunch of other people. I just need to figure out how to make this work for myself. And then you make it work, and then that's it. But there's obviously going to be a lot of bumps in the road, and you just have to keep going through it. There's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but I feel like your mentality can't. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I call it like a zoomed out view, right? When you zoom out, when you broaden your consciousness and you just look at what it is, what's happening, you don't really get too infused with the day-to-day small little things that are happening. You're broader in your consciousness and your awareness. So you're taking action. You're not giving up, that key word. You're just doing things for the sake of making progress each day. You're just getting better. And that, I find that eventually you'll bring in the results.
I agree. I agree.
Energy.
1000%. It's just having that mindset. And then I think another big one that I learned recently is working on the right things. Like working on, or for example, my role is just to generate more revenue, and also ops in turn, like with the team, not so much the dev team, but just working on what matters and then eliminating what doesn't matter. I think the act of eliminating what you're not supposed to be working on is something that a lot of people take a lot, including myself. It took me a while to get rid of a bunch of stuff, but once you do, it's wow, like it's a whole new world. You just focus on what you need to do, and the company starts growing.
No, that's true. One thing that stood out about Drippy is that it's not about like mindless spam. It's about actually connecting and more in a meaningful way. Can you share how you're achieving this for the people out there?
Yeah, for sure.
Make it feel human, right?
So I think that's a very important principle when it comes to outreach. What I typically say is, you want your automated outreach for whenever someone receives it, to think there's no way this was an automated message. And that's what we've been trying to build with Drippy. A message that's so good that people can't fathom how it could possibly be AI. Because there's a bunch of tools that you can come up with some pretty ridiculous scripts nowadays. But I think with us, it's more the simplicity. So with Drippy, you literally cannot send messages that don't at least have first name personalization. So the platform literally will not allow you to send messages that don't have some sort of personalization. Now, we encourage people to use the AI personalization. I think what we've done is pretty sweet, because you don't need to be a prompting expert to do it. Like, you don't need to ask ChatGPT or something like Prompt Perfect to get really long prompts so that you get exactly what you need. You can just speak to it in plain English, write a compliment about this specific lead, take info from their website and from their most recent tweets, and then you can just do that and it'll come up with something really good. I think that's it. We've seen that the campaigns that have personalization tend to do a lot better than campaigns that don't have as much personalization. I feel like sometimes people are a little bit scared of it because they've seen the horrible messages they've gotten.
Yeah.
But again, if you do it correctly, you'll stand out from the crowd. And
no, I love that about Drippy. And I was always very uncomfortable cold outreach.
Yeah.
And Drippy really hits a home run here, because the way I'm able to connect is completely different. So just imagine an audience to imagine living in the world where reaching out to someone new actually didn't feel awkward. You don't feel scripted anymore. Imagine feeling natural, exciting, full of possibility, wanting to help others, growing your network with that passion, that attitude, that mindset, that's building real conversations with real people. After you get through the first few, you're actually getting to that human connection. But having the automation, but also having the energy behind it, is not the automation that's killing the authenticity, is the inauthentic intentions behind it that do, I feel. If you start every outreach, if you're starting with the thinking of, how can I make this human's day better? How can I change this person's life in a good way? How can I amplify it? If you're coming with that energy, using these tools is a blessing. See, your business, your life will never be the same, because your vibe is what dictates your tribe.
Exactly. No, I couldn't agree more. I literally could not agree more. It like 1000%. I think a really good just kind of mental framework for whenever people are writing scripts to do outreach is exactly what you said, and then just putting yourself in their shoes. Like, what would you reply to? What would you like to reply to? What message would you like to receive? And if you do that and you think about, how can I make this person's life better, then you're golden. You're literally golden.
That's a wonderful, man. Do you suspect other tools are going to be coming out now that Drippy is out?
Probably. There's probably some tools out there already. I think it might get to a point where it's like the LinkedIn situation, where there's, I don't know if it's actually hundreds, but there's a couple dozen like LinkedIn outreach tools out there.
That's what I mean. It will get to that point.
Yeah, I feel like it will. And then Twitter will probably take, because right now what's really nice about Twitter is you can send up to 500 messages per day per account. So volume is unlike any other platform out there. So there probably will be some competitors being spun up, and potentially some more limits on the number of messages, et cetera, maybe some more strictness on how like accounts are verified, because right now you can essentially verify accounts by just paying. There is no need, like on LinkedIn, to get ID verified accounts. But I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. I think more barriers of like adding more friction to outreach is just going to make the number of messages that are actually going out decrease, which will increase the efficiency of each message. So again, I think it's just being nimble and flexible and rolling with the punches, seeing what's coming up and just executing.
So Alex, one thing I like is the done for you packages as well.
Yeah. So right now, the done for you offer we are running is a done for you setup offer. So essentially, we set up to at least 10 accounts for you for a one-time fee, and then you just pay the recurring Drippy subscription for 10 accounts. And with that plan, this just being conservative, what I always say on calls is we'll at the very least be sending 2,000 messages per day, like through the 10 accounts. So it's 200 messages per day per account. Again, being conservative, because the max is 500. So we're like, okay, if everything goes wrong, we're going to be at least sending 200 messages. So that's just the numbers that we shoot out to be conservative. And that means 60,000 messages a month if the client decides to be sending 7 days a week for 30 days. So it is a ton of
just a month. Like a few months ago, we never even imagined someone saying that, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, they're all personalized messages, and it's from accounts that are verified, that have content, that are all interacting with each other and engaging with each other. So it's not like you're receiving a message from an account that looks like an AI and you go in there and then there's like nothing there, right? So we try to make these accounts look as human as possible. And that, I think, is really a game changer with this offer. The fact that we don't,
I'm making some solid relationships. I'm going to make an effort of making sure I tell them that the first message was automated, because I don't want to have that lingering on me, because I want to share that with people, because especially when you're building a relationship, you want to let them know. Just having that disclaimer in the relationship building process is very important, I feel, for the energy of that relationship.
I love it, dude. It's great to hear that. I really appreciate you letting me know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. It's great talking to you. I'm wishing you all the best with this. You got something good here. It just keep amplifying it, keep adding more features for us.
Yeah, I appreciate you, dude. Yeah, no, we'll definitely keep doing that. Now that the UI update is out, now we can actually get to work on more features, and there's a ton of stuff coming this year. So I'm really stoked to share that with.
Give me one feature that will blow my mind.
I think the one that people have been asking for, so there's two that people have been asking for a ton. Number one is being able to shoot Drippy data pretty much anywhere. So being able to shoot it into Slack, being able to shoot it into Discord, being able to shoot that into your CRM. So just webhooks, all that stuff. So that's one that isn't too exciting, but it's like we need to have it. And then number two, an AI appointment setter is coming soon.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, we're just dialing it in because it can be, it's a very delicate thing to like have an AI go back and forth. But for people that want that, it's essentially because of the speed to lead, because that's where a lot of conversations die. People just take a long time to reply.
Yeah.
But I think the AI is going to be a game changer for that. Everyone has been asking me for that. So
because I can't, it's not possible to respond right away. When the messages come, I can only get to it when I have time. You know, and some days I'll get, say, 10 replies, and then I have to wait for when I have free time to go in and actually reply it. And you miss that opportunity because, like you said, that speed is crucial.
Super important, especially for like DMs, just being quick to reply. We see reply or booking rates go through the roof whenever someone replies within 5 minutes. And if you can do it within a minute, even better. But 5 minutes is where you want to be.
Awesome.
And hopefully we can get that.
That's great.
Soon.
That's great, Alex. Great having you on the show, man. Keep in touch. Definitely.
Yes, sir.
We'll collaborate even more if there's anything else I could do to help with your tool and the growth.